Over to me.
Open to me.
Hey, we are back in the building. I'm so excited that we have decided to come back another week to give you a dope topic. Pastor Jay, what you got for us?
What I got for you is hello everybody. How you doing? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing? Yeah, we are here back with another episode. Listen, let's introduce ourselves. Y'all. I'm your boy, Pastor J.
I'm your girl, Lady Free.
And I'm Zadie.
Wait a minute. You was supposed to give us
With
Amani's
with
uh
Oh, you want
poem.
Imani's?
Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah.
high notes.
She said,
How about you want me? You want me in with the? You want me in with the Zadie? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was her key. You said that.
Y'all listen. Today's topic is a fireball.
Yes.
First of all, we just want to let you guys know that we want you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If this channel means anything to you as far as helping you with love, life, and relationships, because that's what we do. But we keep it funky, y'all. We keep it straight up real talk. We are on every platform, every social media platform. You can ride with us in the car, right before you go to sleep at night, with your boo if you want him to know something, what I'm saying, you've been trying to say but couldn't really articulate it. We got you. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the topic of tonight's
Well,
discussion.
before you get into the topic, man, we got people tuning in early, man. Let me just give a shout out to a couple of people.
Do that.
I see D Curry on. What's going on, family? We
Hey,
love and
Dwayne.
miss
Hey,
you guys. And Al West is on, the extraordinary
The
producer.
extraordinaire.
The extraordinaire, you know what I'm saying? A.I. West. Come on here.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And then other ones, I'm sure they'll log on later, but let's get rocking.
All right, so y'all listen, we're getting right into this because I believe this topic is going to be something we got a lot to say. It's called Beyond Sex, the Power of Touch. Where did the touch go? That was my extra little sub topic. But the power of touch. So let's get into it, y'all.
The power of touch.
Don't forget beyond sex, the power.
Come on here.
The power.
Zania, come on. You started us off here, you know?
again. He keep putting me on the spot.
Right.
I keep putting you on the spot. All right, cool. All right, so I'll start then. I'll start. And then
Okay, cool.
All right, I'll get it started, man. So listen here. A relationship can have communication, provision, and loyalty. But without touch, it still can feel empty.
Oh, wow.
It still can feel empty.
Wow.
And let me tell you why. Because touch is a level of connection
All day.
emotionally.
Yeah.
It's an emotional connection. And without touch, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the dangers of not being able to touch the person you with. You can make them feel without the touch. And I really want Aunt Liza and them to come on. I can't wait till, because this is how you kind of really like not able to connect with somebody intimately. And I know Aunt Liza and them was saying that they can't connect intimately. And they're probably definitely missing touch. Because if you don't touch the person that you're with, you know what you make them feel like? They're unwanted.
Mm-hmm.
You make them feel unloved. You make them feel not even seen.
Right.
And then if somebody doesn't feel seen, guess what that brings on? A level of rejection. Something as small as touch, but so vital to the growth and development of a relationship. Are they coming in? Aunt Liza and Darren.
Don't forget about my baby sister. T.
My baby sister's on. My
line.
baby girl.
Hey,
my
baby.
baby loves.
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody.
Letice Moore.
T. We talking about beyond sex.
So let me finish.
Hold
Okay,
on. I gotta get for the topic.
I'm sorry, give her the topic.
I gotta give my baby the topic. Beyond sex, the power of touch. I want you to chime in. Not just you, Tease. I want y'all to chime in if y'all got something for us. But go ahead, babe.
Yes. So remember, it can make you feel, what was I saying? Okay, it can make you feel rejected,
Yeah.
unloved, and of course it creates it creates a level of distance between the two of you, because this is the touch is so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple, but it's that important to intimacy and emotional connection.
Yeah.
Now remember this: if you include the touch, right, it makes you feel desired, it makes you feel connected, and it makes you feel emotionally safe. Let me, before y'all chime in, let me just give the scripture that goes behind it and
Come
tells
on,
you
Pastor.
how
Oh, I love
im-
it. Come on.
how important touch is.
Uh-oh.
In Genesis, I believe is the second chapter, the 24th verse. It says, "And for this reason shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife." That cleaving is not only spiritual, but it's emotional, it's physical. It's because the two shall become what? One. How do you become one? Touching, emotionally, communication, you know what I'm saying? Spiritually, there's a level of touching. And this is why too, you got to be very careful too. This is why I always even when I'm praying for people, I make sure that I try not to lay hands on people when I touch them, because we don't understand
Try not to lay hands on them when you touch them.
No, I try not to lay hands, and actually kind of like going over what touching does.
Oh, when
Touching
you
is,
pray.
yes, you got to really be careful, because there's a level of there's a study shows that there is like an endorphin that hugs and touches, it releases. It's like a hormone.
Hormones.
It's a
Yeah.
hormonal, yes, it's a hormonal connection. So that's why you got to even be very careful about why you even praying over people, because you're releasing certain hormones to people that you're praying over. You got to be careful.
And that's why I'm glad we're talking about this topic, because one thing that I know for sure is we have taken touch and we have made it such a thing where it's more so about sexual, the connotation behind it is sexual now more than it ever has been. But we need touch, a hug, a handshake, a holding of the hands, different things like that. That's needed. I remember it was a movie called Crash. I don't know if y'all seen this with Don Cheadle back in the day. And one thing he said, because when this topic came up, I thought about it. One thing he said was he said, I believe the reason why we get in crashes is because so many people aren't being touched today, that crash gives you a reason to feel that touch. It's like you, instead of like just touching, you crashing now. And I know that made sense to me then based on the scene that was happening. But it's like we need touch that much. But we have to teach. We have to teach that touch is supposed to be intimate. And we cannot forget that touch is supposed to be innocent as well.
And getting back to like the hormonal aspect, that was really good, because think about it: when a baby is born,
Come
doctors
on.
have the baby to have skin to skin contact with the
Mm-hmm.
mother or the father. It's a bonding that's happening. And
Right.
that's not sexual at all, because
At
it's
all.
very innocent. But it's a bonding moment, and that's very important, because one, it also releases stress hormones. So for
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
instance, if you're having a stressful day and somebody, it could be anybody, give you a hug, it could be a friend, your mother, your spouse, whoever, they
Exactly.
give you a hug, it's like your whole world is better off of that physical touch and physical. So with that said, physical touch shouldn't always lead to sex, but that's how we always think about it. If I touch you, that means I
Exactly.
want you.
Oh,
No, that just
right.
means I care.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever hugged somebody like when you having a really, really like moment where you pressure's being built up and somebody just give you, especially like a mama type, give you a hug and it's like your whole body just falls into the hug and you just bust out crying? It's something about
Yes.
touch, y'all. I'm telling y'all, the innocent touch, the one that's beyond sex. And as to what you were saying about the baby, they did a study where they had some babies who were deprived of touch,
Mm-hmm.
and they had another set of children in that same experiment, babies who had someone to come and touch them often. And the ones that were deprived of touch started to like get sickly. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
I
That's
do, because they
yeah.
had a baby that died. I remember the story of this baby who died. They didn't do the skin to skin contact at birth, and the baby was already was born with illnesses, and the
Uh-huh.
baby ended up dying.
See, touch.
Hey, what's up, Dad?
Touch.
My dad is on the
Hey,
father
hey,
of
Dad.
shift.
The father of shift. That's right. Yeah,
Al
absolutely.
West said they calling it crash out these days, all for attention. It's too many distractions digitally these days, which causes neglect of original chemistry between
Mm,
humans. That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. That's true.
true.
That's true.
Because the world now is more social
True.
media that a lot of people don't even like going outside anymore. Like even when we used to play hide and go seek, even though you running real fast like a little as a little girl trying to get away, and the boy come up behind you and push you too hard and you fall, it touch right. But they don't even touch no more outside playing. Everybody's inside on social media, video games, and it's causing the world to have a missing element of connection that we need.
And look what touching also does. It's a form of communication without the words.
Ooh, I
It
like that.
is.
And
I
what
like
it
that.
says, what it communicates is, I'm here with you. I'm here.
Ooh,
Mm.
Poppy. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't even. That came up and
Baby,
came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, that is dope.
Yeah, it's communication
Right.
without the words,
Absolutely.
and just a simple touch says, "Hey, don't no more. I got you. I'm here with you."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes,
Mhm.
especially like, do you ever notice when you pulling your lady out the car and you holding her hand? That what is that saying? Don't worry, don't
I
you ain't
got
gotta.
you.
I got you.
I got you.
Hey.
I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Holding, even coming down, and what we do, and this is nothing sexual, mind you. Like because I do it all the time. It just automatic. Like when the women are coming off the stage after singing, after the church, what does a man do? Come down to make sure, hey,
Make sure, yeah.
I got you.
Help her down. That's
Yeah,
what they
helping
say.
it down.
Come on, help her down.
Help her down. I got
Right.
you. Make sure she don't fall.
Yeah.
This is just it's communicating. I got you.
Security.
So because remember, trust is built in safe spaces, right? But
Yeah.
what holding hands and what touch does is, especially if it's mutual, it says now what you can do in this safe space of touch is to be vulnerable.
Oh wow.
It's to be vulnerable. And what
Nice.
happens in vulnerability? It grows intimacy.
It does. It
It
does.
grows intimacy. So
Man, you
if I
coming
can be
with the
vulnerable,
nuggets.
come on here. Come on. Clack
Clack
it.
it.
Clack it.
Babe, I don't need you to do it no more. Let me do it for you. Clock it.
Oh my
The little ATL shout had to come out. Clack it.
My God.
But
yeah.
but also
Yeah.
think about what Al said though. It's so good because small gestures throughout the day means more than this big old grand gesture you could do at the end of the night, right? So a lot of people are
Right.
wondering why they're lacking intimacy in a sexual way. And they're like, but I do touch you. I do. Yeah, but you only touch me when it comes to sex.
When you
What
Yeah.
about the small gestures throughout the day where you
Right.
just caressing my back or
right.
pass by and grab my hand? Because like he said, when he was talking about how like I'm gonna read it again. He said it's too many distractions digitally these days, which
Yeah.
causes neglect of original chemistry. Think about when you're going out on a date to dinner.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone, you on your phone. Ain't nobody holding hands because we too busy holding phones.
Uh-oh.
Ain't nobody exchanging anything, any kind of physical touch because we
Right.
too busy at dinner like this.
Yeah.
So
Better
we're
yet-
lacking that
Right.
physical touch.
Better
Right.
yet, we at home Netflix and chill.
And
And I look over and you on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm trying to lean on you and lay on you, and you on your phone.
Al said trust
And
is
you on your
built in the.
phone.
He said trust is built in safe places is a T-shirt.
It is.
Come
It
on, Al.
is.
Come on,
Come
A-West.
on with it.
Come
that
on.
clothing line. So
Okay,
let me
you
ask you a
no, you better listen. I need you to pick it up.
Yeah.
He dropped it.
Pick it
You
up.
better
Drop
pick
that
it up.
nugget, Al.
Okay, got
Trust
it.
is built in
All
safe
right,
Lady
safe
Free.
places.
Okay, so I have a question. Okay, since we got on, we know about the mama hugs and we know about the church hug, the pat on the back, now there's one touch that can be misconstrued as intimate or innocent. That's that shoulder touch. What y'all think about that shoulder touch?
What
You
shoulder?
at you at work
Shoulder
and
to
your
shoulder?
boss come by and tell you, okay, you're doing a good job. It's a touch, but some people can misconstrue it as, oh, he rubbed on my shoulder, girl. Some people can just see it as, okay, it was a pat, a touch. What y'all think about the shoulder touch?
You can tell a difference though,
I
because I
believe it.
felt the differences.
Oh, you had
If
that?
somebody just firm, I did, girl, and
Look
I was
at
like,
how I said, good
right,
job.
what you doing all that extra for? All that rubbing and
Why
scratching,
your
like,
fingers lasted long on my shoulder?
I think the
why
difference
you doing
is,
all
Zane.
that?
Yeah. The difference, Zane, is if you touch with the whole palm, like the palm touch, then that's a regular touch.
Uh-huh.
But if the fingers start touching, if
Right.
there's fingers that that little massage,
Y'all better know the
you better watch
difference.
it. Yeah,
How
that's
about this?
You
If it
doing
was
too
a
much.
pat, just like when somebody give you a hug, you could tell the difference between intimate, because the intimate is like, the church is like, hey, it's that pat, pop, pop, and come off.
Right.
Let's practice, everybody, when you at church. And somebody, first of all, you need to go to the side a little bit, pop, pop, and come off. All right, that's how we doing it.
But let's be real for a second, y'all.
Okay,
Let's be
I'm
real.
sorry. I'm joking, but I'm not.
Because
I'm sorry.
let's be real. Let's be real. Sex is really what you do before and after. Is what you do before and after. That's why those touches, and you got to even be very careful with those even innocent touches, because that's what a lot of people do to do what? To lead up to the intimacy of the act of love. That's why it's called the act of love, because everything you do before then, you know what I'm saying? You do the pre warm up, you know what I'm saying? The getting the vocals ready before you actually do the act.
Yeah.
And then what you do after is the act after the love.
Right.
But it all leads to the intimacy part of intimacy. So we got to really be careful. I remember when my wife, me and her first got together, we weren't having sex, but we were, that hug
I give
did
good
something.
hugs too, don't I?
That hug did something. It was like, oh my God, I melted.
Oh.
Yeah, it really, honestly.
Yeah, you give good hugs.
Yeah, she gave it.
But I know the difference between the tap, tap, pop and the what I'm trying to do intentionally. We know, women know. That's why wives, we tell our husband, hold up. We know the difference. We don't even have to see it long. Like our husbands or men out there be acting like they are, well, what? No, you know.
You're right.
But if you don't know, you got me. It was a little too long. I didn't see the top. I didn't see none of that.
I ain't see the side turn and she melted all in your arms.
Right.
Get her back up.
We don't need that. But then listen, on a serious note though, I've also seen where innocent touches was misunderstood as something intimate because of the background of the person that was touched. So that's another reason why you have to be careful in the way to kind of like get past that misunderstanding is permission. Ooh. Do you mind if I hug you? You know, stuff like that. Get permission to be invited into that space and be clear.
Yeah.
Be clear.
He said some people's touch need to be rebuked.
In the name of
and does.
Come on.
And women, our discernment is so keen that certain touches, fellas, you may feel the touch. We look at the whole body. We looking at the eyes she give when she touch. We looking at how she walk away after the touch. We looking at all of that. And we know, if you trust and love your wife, trust and love her when she trying to let you know that there's a Jezebel in the building.
He said, intuition to the pure-hearted is easy to detect because the pure-hearted are seasoned, and goodness and evil becomes easy to see along with constant prayer.
Come on here.
Come on, Wes. Come on, Wes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Come on here.
Come on. But here's another honest moment here.
Come on.
You know, sometimes there were people who were touched illegally, and that followed them the rest of their life, and they were not able to be touched again because they were reminded of that touch that was illegal.
Right.
So we got to really be, like my wife said, you just, the way to end that is to get the permission.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Create that safe space so that the touch
You say
is
some.
mutual.
I think 100% of the time, if you were touched illegal, it follows you somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A hundred
Yeah.
percent of the time.
So, but how does that, I like, how does that, you know, how does,
Translate.
yeah, how does that translate into a relationship that needs touch?
What do you mean by
Everybody
that?
needs touch.
Yeah.
But what do you mean by how does that translate
Because,
into a
Hmm.
my question is like when you've been touched illegally,
uh-huh.
and y'all know what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
When you've been touched illegally, it causes a mental damage or a
Uh-huh.
block or
Hmm.
feeling that
Right.
says touching to me is not even, ugh. It reminds me of when that happened. They go right back to that
Mm-hmm.
that event.
That moment,
But
yeah.
bringing that into a relationship that needs it, how do you translate coming out of this emotional damage to bring that into something that really can help bring the connection together? Like how do you
I
Okay.
think.
I
Go ahead, Free.
no,
Go ahead.
I was just saying out loud, I think I get where you're going. Go
Oh,
ahead,
okay.
maybe. Yeah.
I think every person is different. For me, it was permissive at first because for me, it became a control issue. I had to be in control who touched me. You don't have control to touch me. So if you touch me without my permission, it infuriated me, right? So
mm,
for me, it was permissive. You had to get permission. And
Mm-hmm.
then as my relationship grew, I still had moments where if I didn't feel like it and you touched me, then I felt violated. But at that point, when I knew that person meant me no harm, I realized I had to get help. Even up to, I'm gonna be honest, even up to last year, I think I just started really processing that
Mm-hmm.
because it was me, Barbie, and Free when we
Mm-hmm.
did that show, writing letters to our little girl self.
Oh, yeah.
I realized in that moment how bad I had it because I had
Oh,
passed
wow.
on that to my kids. Like it was even my
I
boys.
remember that, right.
Um, you remember that?
Yeah.
So it I carried that, and my husband felt it. I'm not going to even lie to you. He felt
Mm-hmm.
it, but I had to say, okay, to a certain point is my responsibility
Mm-hmm.
because now everybody around me cannot hurt or suffer for what they did because I'm still giving them power
Yeah.
over me.
mm, mm,
And that's one way that it translates in the relationship that needs to feel the connection. Another way that it translates is some people become over sexualized, and
Hmm.
it's almost that thing of if he doesn't do it or if she doesn't touch me, then
True.
something's wrong with me. They don't want me. So that particular touch often leads to the act. But I mean, I guess that's a whole nother way. Like the way you were saying, it has to be permissive. Another way is it's almost intrusive. Like
yeah.
if
Hmm.
you don't do it, then what's wrong? Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah, that's true because what happens is because that touch reminded you of an act that came with it. Like one of our points is saying that, sometimes the touch leads to
Mm-hmm.
the act of love. And because we don't want to portray that like this touch is going to lead to, so we cut it off. We don't want that to lead to this because I don't want you to feel like, I don't want to feel like, violated. So this is what happens. We stop it. No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. But we don't realize that that is causing a disconnect in the relationship that we're in. So, like Elijah said,
I
we
was
have
about
to
to
do the
say that.
work.
Yeah.
We have to do the work because, again, because of what that rejection does, what that denial does. You
Yeah.
know you shouldn't deny your husband or your wife, But sometimes that denial comes from that pain that we have not gotten over, and we need to do the work so that we don't carry that into the situation. You know, nobody wants to feel rejected. Nobody wants to feel unseen or unheard. And true, that's the bridge. That's another bridge to communication.
Yeah.
It's physical touch.
And the second part of what Eliza said is very important too. She says you have to be honest with your partner. See, the thing, I think the thing that goes lacking is that part of the communication. It's like, I like when you walk in the house and brush past me and kind of like rub up against me. I like that.
Okay.
It makes me feel, or instead of walking by me and saying pop, how about you walk by me and kind of just give me a little pat? That'll make me feel better. We have to communicate these things. Or, a lot of times when you're in a fresh relationship or even a fresh marriage, or even maybe years down the line, you communicate to that person, hey, when you do that, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and this is why. But we have to communicate our intimate needs with our partners. I remember I used to tell Pastor Jay when we first got married, why the only time you want to touch me is when you want something? You remember that?
When
we was at Miller Station.
Oh.
When we were just married, it was like, dude,
well,
the only time you touch me is when you want something. Don't do that to me.
Well,
but I didn't communicate though.
Well, but if I could be honest.
Talk about it.
I'm about to say,
yeah, if I could be
honest. I think I
honest.
opened the door for something.
Hey, I'm an open book because God delivered me.
Okay.
At that point, when we first got married, I was indulging in paraphernalia.
Right.
When I was paraphernalia, I got to a mindset and a feeling of I just wanted to touch, because it was like, so I was smoking weed. I was smoking weed, and weed made me touch. It gave me courage to touch even past what I should have been doing. And that probably turned you off because I was operating under a whole nother spirit. So that's what that was in the beginning of our marriage. I was heavily indulging in weed because I was using that. I was actually coming out of coping, and it was hard for me to stop coping because of everything that I was going through. So I was coping, and I used that to cope with, and I used that to mentally feel like I can block what I'm going through out. And it didn't do nothing but cause me to operate under spirits that I had no control over.
Right. This is, okay, I'm going to tell y'all, this is interesting because this podcast is not even supposed to be going in this direction, but you know how we get sometimes. Transparent moments. I'm glad he didn't throw me under the bus, so I could actually take my seat in the driver's seat of the bus and ride. He wasn't the only one indulging in Mary J. Wanham.
Mary J. Wanham.
It was me too. And thank God we definitely been delivered from that for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
So those of you who knew us 4 or 5 years ago, don't judge me. God already forgave us, okay?
They
thought, she was in the choir and everything. She was high.
I was a musician. I was a musician.
Coming to church high, singing.
Yeah, what? I used to be on the organ high as I don't know what.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I'm acting like I didn't know.
That Negro is playing under the anointing. He is playing under the anointing. Play that organ, boy.
That's why y'all gotta be careful, pastors. Y'all hear this? Be careful who you got in your
nowadays you stay
I'm
coming.
about to say the pastors be high.
The pastors be high.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Shit, my old weed dude called me the other day by accident and thought I was one of the pastors that was buying from me in Atlanta.
Okay. Cut. Y'all,
I was like, wait a minute.
Move on.
Okay, all right. He said, oh, this Jesse. Oh, my bad. I got a pastor named Jesse who buy from me.
Pastor J, cut. Let's keep moving. Because we walking in murky water.
Hey, look. I could tell him myself.
Right.
So, look.
Oh, my God.
All right.
He really thought I was a pastor that was...
Okay.
So he mixed up the numbers and I'm like, why Brad calling me?
And then you calling names.
Oh,
you get stitches.
My bad.
In the spirit.
No
names.
No names. My bad.
So,
my bad, B.
Now they gonna know who the pastor is. Okay, but
hey, look. Hey,
So I digress.
the way. Okay, I ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
We are.
I'm not gonna.
This the third X.
I'm not gonna do it.
That,
I be thinking some of these pastors be high.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
As your help me, let me help you.
Okay.
Cut.
Okay.
Let's go back. So, as I was saying in my transparent moment, you said something at that point that was very, very instrumental to a deliverance. I was coping too. So I don't think I was necessarily talking about the touch that you was giving me when we both were under the influence. Not that, because both of us was in the same vein. And it's interesting because that was our coping mechanism. Because of the illegal touch that had happened to me years back, it caused me to have a certain way I thought about touch. I didn't even understand or cannot even explain the way it was. But in my head, whenever I was under the influence, it helped me to better
to not think about it.
To
close it out.
No, I did. I thought about it.
To actually enjoy it.
It helped me to think about it differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, though, we're talking about the fact that
so instead of being strangled to death, you were strangled to pleasure.
We're not doing it. We will not.
Last week it was you, Lady Free. Now this week it's Pastor J.
Okay, well, this is the thing. I lost my train of thought. The devil is a liar. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
You said, let me help you remember. You said, you remember?
I used it as a coping mechanism, but that's not the moment that I was talking about. The moment that I'm talking about is I felt that every time, in or outside of the influence, which was very rarely outside, but still, I felt like the only time I was touched was when it had to lead up to. Now, I'm glad that in our maturity and as we grew in our marriage, we celebrated 10 years in July, people. So, hey, right? But in our marriage, over time, I noticed that after him understanding that physical touch is not my love language, but
I couldn't tell.
Well, we just discussed that we was both under an alternative influence. Okay, so so basically at the end of the day,
listen, because she going down.
Wait, but why you fidgeting? Hold on, Pastor J, because free over there fidgeting. You said I couldn't tell.
Yeah, she going all the way up to Mulberry.
Getting nervous.
Yeah. Let me look. When she was under the influence, she used to get these tingles in her hand.
We will not.
And she would just get touchy, and she would touch.
Pastor J, too much. Don't get another man.
But we're talking about touch. Touch.
Yeah, another man don't need that.
Name.
At the end of the day,
you know what?
Let's get back on track.
Well, okay. What Liza commented. Let me read what she said.
Okay.
She said it's hard to have or want a feeling of touching with someone who's not connected emotionally and spiritually, and nothing really in common with that person. What we were talking about in the beginning is touching is the gateway to connection. This is how you get connected, because what touch does. Touch says, I am present. Touch says, I can give you safety. Touch says, there is love. Touch says, there is reassurance that I am here, So it communicates without communicating. So using the level of touch, that's the whole point of why we're saying what we're saying, that this is the gateway. This opens the door to building a level of intimacy, a level of vulnerability, a level of being there for your mate. So
right.
So
however, I'm speaking from a female standpoint.
Okay. Speak from a female standpoint, and I'll speak from a male standpoint.
It depends on the motive behind the touch. Because if me and you are not getting along and you barely talk to me and we don't have that relationship foundation and it seems like we arguing all the time, or let's say that the only time I feel like you touch me is when you want me, which makes me feel used for sex, then that touch may not make me feel like the connection that you're talking about. It may make me feel like,
okay,
why are you touching me
okay,
when we don't even talk?
All right.
Or what makes you think I want you to touch me? Because the more you touch me, it seems like the touch only leads to sex. And that's the touch I was talking about.
Got you.
Because and I'm speaking from experience. I know you love me. Knew then that you loved me. But I think that in that time, you came across as if touch was supposed to lead to sex. And that's how I felt. Like, I wanted to be touched, like, not just for that reason. I wanted to have that connection, but I felt like the only reason, which kind of turned me off from the being touched, because when it comes in that way, like, dog, every time you touch me, it's like,
okay.
it's only for that
I got
moment.
something.
Only physical attraction.
Right.
And
Yeah.
what about you wanting me? What did you?
Yeah.
What about you just desiring my presence?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Touch to make me feel like you want
Yeah.
me in your life, not
Walk
just
up behind me.
have
Put
me
your-
for fulfillment.
yeah. Breathe on my neck. Walk up behind me. Breathe on my neck. Just lay there for a minute and just
Okay,
kiss
so,
it and
all
say,
right.
I love you.
Okay, let me
and
say
walk
this.
away.
Let me say
That'll
this.
make me feel like, wow.
Let me say this. Let me talk from a man's foot, because I
Okay.
hear you and I respect y'all ladies.
Gotcha.
I respect what you're saying and I hear you. But let me say
Wait,
this.
before you say that, because
Okay,
I
got
want you
you,
to
got
add
you.
this in your explanation. I want you to add this in your explanation because I have a question.
Sure.
So, society gives this perception that women are emotional and they need that stuff. But they
Mhm.
say men don't need all that. They don't desire just to be touched. So when you give your explanation, what you like to say, can you add some truth to that,
A
or
B clause.
if that
Oh yeah.
is true?
Right.
Yeah.
I do the B clause. Got you. So here's the
Okay.
thing. What is the thing that debunks the intent? And that's our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And our feelings can really go into our head a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what does the Bible say? That's why the Bible says cast down every imagination, because we can think it in our head. And the Bible says, so a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think that this touch is leading to sex, then that's what you're going to believe. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to act on what you feel and what you believe. But to be honest with you, the touch says, okay, just because we can't talk right now. Maybe I don't even know how to express myself because I don't want you to have an emotional response to my feelings right now, because there's a level of misunderstanding that's going on. What the touch does is it makes sure that no matter what's going on, it keeps us connected. So if I'm still able to touch you in the midst of an argument, it says no matter what, this cannot be broken. The argument should not stop me from touching you, because again, that is the bridge to us being intimate. That is the bridge of us being talking without talking. No, I can't talk to you verbally, but I can talk to you emotionally. So that means there should be some type of communication that's going on. That answers both of them things in one one nutshell. Because again, the thing that stops that is because you only touching me because you want to. No, I'm touching you because I want to communicate with you. I'm touching you because I want you to understand that just because we can't talk, we can communicate. We can hold hands. I can touch you. No, stop touching me. And it's like, dang, I can't even do that.
I think that's one scenario, though.
I can't even do that.
And I think it's a great scenario. But there are also times when I feel like it's not just a feeling that your touch is for that reason, because it is what happens. Because we don't communicate, maybe you can't communicate. And see, and let me tell you something, Pastor J, you're talking now from this side of the spectrum, and that's wisdom for people to grow into. I'm referring to before that maturity level came, where if something is not going right, then
yeah, but that's before. Okay, we still saying the same thing because again,
Yeah.
because of the lack of maturity is because I didn't have the information. I didn't know how to do that. So because I have the information now, I can say that should not stop. Because again,
Right.
that is communicating. So what I'm saying is how you get through it. But I didn't have the information before. That's the difference before then. I didn't know what to do. So my know to do was run. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? That was immature, but that was also lack of information. That was me thinking this is the way I know how to handle it. And what do we do in those levels of immaturity? We go to what devices that we know that's going to make us comfortable, and we get selfish in what we do. We get selfish in handling it the way we think we should handle, and we forget about the one that we're in the relationship with. So what I'm saying is that communication, no matter what, should not stop. If we can't talk verbally, if you don't want to hear me, and it's fine. You don't even have to want to hear me right now, but you should want to physically talk to me. You still should want to emotionally talk to me. And if most of all, if we can't even talk that, we could be able to communicate spiritually. But there should be some type of communication going on that continues to keep us connected, because guess what? This is what keeps us one. We are one. We are not two. We are one. So in that oneness, there has to be communication physically. There's different ways to communicate without doing it. So that all I'm saying is that's what has to go down.
So you're coming from a place of understanding now.
Yeah.
And you're giving
Can I
information
say-
to help. Okay,
Sure,
go ahead.
absolutely.
Because I heard what both of y'all say, which is both valid. But however, what I heard is that there's also miscommunication in touch. Because
Yeah.
you said, Pastor Jay, that I'm touching you because I want to continue to communicate. And then Free came back and said, yes, but it's translating over to me as a female as you just want me for sex. And you argued to why your point of view was the only one. And she's saying, listen, and I'm not saying this is happening in your relationship. I'm just going about the scenario.
we
Right.
got you.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
saying, listen, when you touch me though, it feel like straight sexual. It don't feel like you trying to communicate, right?
Yeah.
So what I heard was there's still miscommunication in the touch. So how do we overcome the miscommunication even in the touch?
Just to clear, hold on, Pastor. Just to clear it up for just a second. We were talking about 2 time periods though, because when there was the beginning of the marriage, that's when the touch was understood as it's going to lead to sexual. Now, that's why I was telling him earlier, I think it's 2 sides of the spectrum. Now, the touch is totally different. So
No, I'm talking about a generic. I'm not talking about y'all I'm not talking about y'all
Right.
situation at
Yeah,
all.
Right.
so
I'm
here's
talking about
the
for somebody who going through this, who
Right.
feel like,
So
baby,
here's the thing.
I'm trying to break
Yeah.
through, but you're not letting me in, and she feel like it's because you only want me for sex.
Got you. And but see, that's what happens. And because that happens, what we do, and because we're not able to do of even the physical communication, emotional, what happens is there's a level of rejection. And when that rejection comes in, only thing, those are tools that the enemy uses to do what? Bring us to being two, not one.
divided, yeah.
So we got to realize that no matter what happens, we cannot stop doing what it takes to stay connected. Even if we can't talk, there still have to be a level of communication. Even if you're taking it the wrong way. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with because what happens is what happens is we get separated from the truth of the matter because our feelings are involved. I feel like this is going to lead to something that I'm not ready for. And that's fine. You don't have to be ready for that. But you should not stop connecting because we are one. You cannot stop under no circumstances. You cannot stop the connection because the communication is the what? It's the bridge to the heart. So if you blow up the bridge, the heart has no way to connect to one another. And what you're doing is now you're bridging a whole nother level of trouble that only goes to a level of toxicity, and it destroys the relationship. It destroys the relationship because you know why? Our feelings take over and not the communication.
So how do you get out of the cycle where normally your touch normally, let's say for the person that normally the touch leads to sex. I want to have sex.
Consistency.
But hold on,
Consistency.
to the period. I want to do it, but I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like doing it anymore because I feel like the only reason why you are touching me is so that you can do that. And that sometimes throws women off. It's like, hold up. I mean, because we don't mind. We like the pleasure just as
Mm-hmm.
much as anybody. But when we feel like we're the only thing you want from me, like you can't talk to me, we don't have communicate. We don't talk to each other. But you expect me to have sex with you. We don't.
That's communication.
It is, however, it starts a toxic cycle
Yeah.
because you feel rejected because I don't want you to touch me because I feel like you touching me only leads to sex. The way to get out of that cycle, how do you get out of that cycle, that circle that's going on? Because you continuously feeling rejected. I'm continuously feeling like you keep trying to touch me and I'm still like, the Heisman on you because I want to be touched, but I want to be touched because you just want to be in that moment to let me know I
Go
love
ahead,
you.
Zane. I'm gonna go ahead.
So from my experience that I experienced with my husband, there was a point where he stopped touching me, and I start feeling like you don't. I kept telling him you don't desire me. He was like, "What are you talking about? All I do is think about you." And I was like, huh, "I can't tell because you
Uh-huh.
don't touch me. You don't nothing, right?" And so I was like, I remember telling him, just because you don't like to be touched doesn't mean I don't want to be. He said, "Who told you that?" He was like, "I want to be touched too." And I was like, "Really?" Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." So in that moment, y'all know I go in my little corner and I ponder. And I had to think, I don't touch him because I assumed he didn't want to be touching. He didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But once he told me and I realized he didn't know how to initiate that, I initiated it. Whether I was getting it or not, I would rub his head when because my husband bald head. So as he chilling, I'll rub that bald head.
Right.
Um, if he in the kitchen, I would come behind him and hug him. Like I did little things to show him what I wanted, but also to give him what he told me he desired. And
I love that.
the next thing I know, if I didn't get it, then I would put little hints out there like, "Babe, now I'm giving in what you said you want, but I still feel neglected." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying to do." So now I don't have to cue him. I'm in the kitchen. He come behind me. He grabbed my waist, and I love that he knows that. Or he'll rub the small part of my back when we're out and about.
The
Like
swole
he
of my
does
back.
things now to touch me, and I don't have to prompt it. But I
Yeah.
had to start initiating it first.
That's a
So,
good
and
way to
I do
get out the
understand
cycle.
everybody's situation different, but at some point, who says, just like, and I hate to use this example for this, but it's just like Jesus, like God did. He sent Jesus to sacrifice his own son for us, knowing that we still was going to sin. Who says, I'm going to sacrifice my desire, my wants, so that something can change in the relationship?
Oh,
And if
nice.
nobody wants to do it, then you will never have a change. But somebody has to say, I'll lose for a little bit in this situation so that you can understand what we need.
And that's where I was going with it, pretty
Yeah.
much. So we about to say the same thing, but I'm gonna take it another way.
Okay.
The thing is, again, I'm gonna go back to these feelings. A lot of times, our feelings are truly what they are. They are our feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and because they are your feelings, don't mean they are my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Because we think differently, and what debunks your feelings is a consistent level of behavior. And I had to do that with her because um we would argue, and our arguments, when pretty much our arguments were how I felt, how you felt,
Yeah.
and we wanted you to feel or understand how each other felt.
Right.
But because the
Mm-hmm.
level of communication couldn't happen because it was the volume and the way we were talking to each other was
Yeah.
not where it needed to be. So because we couldn't do that, because guess what? We're arguing our feelings. Okay, we can't talk about our feelings right now. Let's come back to those feelings. We're not going to ignore those feelings, but right now we can't deal with those feelings. But we going to touch. But we gonna, because guess what? There still has to be a level of communication, because again, that is what's used. Because, and I heard I promise you, I won't take the credit for this because I didn't say that. I heard this pastor say that these are the things that are used inside of any situation that God allows us to that we go through. We go through this situation, I'm saying sometimes the enemy attacks and by using these distractions. Distractions like, I'm going to argue how I feel. Or distractions like, I don't want to be with you. And what we think is the situation that we're in is so bad that we don't want to be with it. But you know what's under attack? Not the marriage, but our submission to God is under attack. That's the focus. The focus is not the marriage. The focus is your submission to God. Because what happens when you submit to God? What happens? You fall in alignment. Everything is in alignment. Your life lines up. Everything lines up. But what happens when you are arguing and you make this the situation, when you are focused so much on the situation, then guess what you do? You come out of alignment, because now what we're not doing, we're not listening to God. We're listening to our own will, because we say to ourselves, this is what our feelings are telling us. I can't deal with this. Oh, I'm not dealing with this no more. Oh, I ain't got, you really? Oh, that nigga got some nerve. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to say that and then go back to kind of like deal with what Aunt Liza put on here, because she commented. I wanted us to all chime in on what she said. She said, "Okay, my husband hasn't touched me in over a year because he said we don't have a connection. But now I have the paperwork for him to sign. Now he wants me to be with him after all the rejection and disrespect, and I don't want to be with him in any form of way. And especially when you say I have love for you, but I'm not in love with you, and I don't have a connection. I've been sacrificing for 26 years, accommodating my husband's emotions and needs." And I guess that goes back to what I was saying. You know, the attack is not the marriage. The attack, because again, when we place the institution that God created in his hands, then God works it out. You know what I'm saying? But again, here we go with our feelings. How can we connect with somebody? It is hard to connect with somebody when we make the connection about me and not us, because we are one. We are one, and not understanding the tools of what connects us. So sometimes we have to look past these feelings, and we have to look past ourselves. And the one thing I would say to you, Aunt Liza, in the midst of all of this, is God said in his word that he hates divorce. He hates it. He doesn't like it at all. He doesn't like it. And because of that reason, I would only encourage you. I can't tell you what to do, and I promise you, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. All I'm saying is, whatever you do, make sure that this is what God is telling you to do. Because I know what we say that we can't do. Because there are plenty of times in the scripture where there were people in the Bible that told God what they couldn't do. Look at Gideon. Gideon ran. He ran. But God saw what was inside of him. He said, "You are a soldier." Yeah. He ran. He hid in a little bunker. You know what I'm saying? He was hiding. He was hiding, and he made every excuse to not do what God called him to do. Disobedience. Yeah. You know, look at Jonah. It was a whole bunch of people in the Bible that did, because they said, "God, no, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not gonna do that."
What was his name? What was his name? Habakkuk or Haggai, the one that married to a prostitute?
That was
I forget which one.
Haggai was the prop that he was married to, but that was Isaiah. That was Isaiah.
No, it wasn't.
Was it Isaiah?
Huh?
It wasn't
Hagar.
Isaiah.
No, I think Hagar was wife. It was Habakkuk.
I got you,
or Haggai.
Mary, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, but while you're doing that, I'm gonna say this. It is very difficult
Hosea.
Realistically, Hosea. I knew it was a H or a
Oh
M,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
H.
Hosea.
Hosea.
My bad.
Um, it is very difficult when you have unresolved issues, and not to mention years of unresolved issues, to desire to be touched by the person that you're in relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult, but it's not impossible for God to change that around. Now, I'm not just talking about Aunt Liza and Darren. This is not just for them. This is realistically. We're talking about beyond sex, the power of touch. There is power in the touch. However, there has to be resolve for issues. And I know the godly way, and I'm for the godly way, because I've learned, we've conditioned ourselves to do those things and be obedient to God's word. Because in that being obedient, it's little stuff in there that confuses the enemy, and he like, dang, why they not mad? They supposed to be mad right now. And if you obedient to the word of God, then it kind of like takes the sting out of the stuff that Satan try to do. But when you are going through and you having problems with the person you with, there is still power in touch, but you have to be willing to sacrifice, be a living sacrifice, to be obedient to what God says. Wives, your bodies no longer belong to you. Husbands, your bodies no longer belong to you. That's a mutual, that's not he controls my body and I control his. No, that's a mutual consent of touch. And he gave a reason why, so that the devil cannot come in and try to cause there to be some divide. So, my thing would be, yes, touch is important, but resolving those issues so that you can receive the touch is also important. Those issues need to be resolved. Getting a divorce is not a resolution to the issues, because you'll carry them with you to other relationships. There's got to be healing, and only God will be able to heal you of those wounds and those broken places and those unresolved issues.
Can I share a have a transparent moment?
Sure.
So, um, a lot of times we think, because we're communicating our needs, our wants, our desires, our hurts, that we are clearly explaining it, right? That we're clearly communicating. We don't understand why somebody else not feeling what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They can repeat what we said, so they heard it, but they don't fully comprehend what we're saying, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we think, because you heard me, you understand. And it's not the case. So I remember in the beginning of my marriage, um, I felt like God had put me in the same situation he delivered me out of,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where I felt like I couldn't talk to my husband. So I went and bought a journal, and I would journal every time I was hurt. I would journal all my pains, my disappointments. And it was a book. When God had me go back, it was a book of disappointments.
Mm.
But God used that same book to show me where my focus was. We
Oh,
think
wow.
that when we rehearse the problems that we're communicating. No, you're reliving every bit of your hurt every time. You failed me. You disappoint me. And Liza, I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm going to use your years since you said it. For 26 years, all you did was not love me. For 26 years, all you did was not. And we're rehearsing all the pain, right? Because that's what I did. I rehearsed not only the pain my current husband was doing, giving me, but I even drug in my first husband,
Mm.
because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm
Right,
just living
right,
it all
right.
over. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
God had to show me. He said, "You would never get a better marriage. It would never change, because the reason why He's not understanding where you're coming from is because you are communicating. You're communicating your pain. You're not
Mm-hmm.
communicating where you want to go." And He took me back to when I was in corporate America. I remember our CFO came to me, and he said, "What can we do better?" And I had this whole list. We could do this,
Right.
this, 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 this. And then his next question was like, he said, "Now, how can we make those changes?" I said, "I don't know." I was all cocky, right? Because I'm talking to a big wig. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. But These are the problems. And he looked at me. He waited till everybody else didn't pay attention. And he softly told me, he said, everything you said is true, but never come to the table with just problems.
Oh.
Have suggestions of changes with it. Have
Ooh.
have solutions, possible
Mm-hmm.
solutions.
That's
Absolutely.
And
all
that
you get.
stuck with me.
Yeah.
Okay? It stuck with me because that's what we like to do. We like to throw up all the problems, but then how we going to fix it? Because if the person is bringing the problem, is if the person is the problem, do you think they really have the solution to fix it? No,
Yeah.
they don't. Because they don't even know they're the problem until you tell them they're the problem. So when you come to the table, you got to bring the solutions. And when God gave it to me like that, I stopped focusing on the problem and I start focusing on the solution. And so when I
Mm-hmm.
came to my husband after that, I would say, babe, and I would come with a different insight too. This is what's making me unhappy, and it may not even be your fault. But
Mm.
here's where I think we should go with this, or what I can do and you can do. And he will receive it better because he'll understand that I'm not just going you.
Mm-hmm.
It was us. We both could
Mm-hmm.
make the change in all these situations. Every problem that was faced, both of us can make adjustments. So
Mm.
I just wanted to share that transparent moment.
That was
And
good.
and that took you didn't took it home seriously because
Took us
that
home.
you took us home. And last thing, and we got to go, y'all, because our time is up. She said my spirit is very aligned with God, and He said that I should have life and have it more abundantly. I can respect what you say, but you had to leave someone to find your person God had for you. So God didn't put us together. We believe I have always consulted God. Never ever marriage will last, and so with that being said, I am not letting God down or breaking covenant with God. Well, Eliza, we honestly we love you. I mean, at the end of the day, we love you, but we just really just desire God's will for your life. You know,
And we know you do too. So we know you
yeah,
praying and we know you seeking God for your life's journey. And we also have to understand God uses everything we go through, nothing wasted.
nothing wasted,
Every single thing
and that's
we
so true.
experience in
And
life.
that's so true what Zania said, and I know we gotta go. It's true. Um, one thing my wife and I had to learn is problems were gonna come, but we had to know how to exist with those problems, not exist with them, but
Mhm.
understand when we couldn't work those problems out, we
We
did,
still
we
had to
still,
be
we
married.
still had to be married. And
Yeah.
a lot of times that's a struggle with certain people because when they're mad at you, they don't want to be touched. They don't want to be, and these
Hmm.
are the things that drive the connection away. And so sometimes
Yeah.
we allow that to happen so much till we don't connect and we don't, and if it happens so long, is we think that connecting to this person is unrealistic, but is so something is so simple as really just being able to 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 cope or not cope, but just go through going through challenges and being able to, like she said, bring solutions. Like, okay, all right now we can't talk, but let's just go get some ice cream. We don't even have to, what I'm saying? This,
But the thing that helped, and this is the last thing I think that I'm going to say because we are out of time, the thing that helped is knowing that we were going to come back to those issues and resolve them when we were in a better space. That's what helped because if I felt like those issues would never be resolved, it's not going to be no go get ice cream. It's not going to be no touch me.
I think that better space comes from the information though, because that the Bible says that without knowledge, without the wisdom, we can't, without,
Okay.
people perish without the lack of knowledge, people
Yeah.
perish. So
But
I think,
when I say better space, I'm saying when we both are not heated anymore, when we in a
mhm.
place where we could talk now.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, but those is the tools that we had that we now have
That we now
that
have.
that we had
Right.
because
We
we
didn't
didn't
have
have those, so
then.
we
Mm-mm.
could not exist. But it's about getting that information and getting those tools, and not just getting them, but executing them.
Yeah.
Executing that. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is the
Mhm.
execution of knowledge. It's the execution of it. If you don't execute what you know, then you just doing it for naught.
Yeah.
And trust to know
And can
that.
I say one quick? I promise,
Okay,
quick,
okay, okay.
because I had to learn for real, real quick. So I just recently learned this myself. I felt responsible for every issue that we in the relationship had. I carried all of it. And Barbie one day told me, "Well, why are you doing that? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
not holding him accountable for nothing." You're just picking up the slack. So why should he do it? Right? Why should he be held accountable if you're going to pick it up? She said, be okay to let it fall apart. Mm-hmm. So I want to anybody, be okay. We're letting it fall apart because guess what? Somebody got to pick it up and it don't have to be you.
Trust me.
Be okay.
If you a child of God, when it fall apart, it's going to fall apart in his hands. And what better hands to fall apart in Amen. Than the hands of the man with the master plan.
Amen.
Amen. Bars.
Amen.
Bars.
But listen, y'all. Elijah,
Clock it. I saw you.
Glad it. Okay, y'all. Next week, we gonna have to talk with y'all, but we gonna come back with another great show.
Yes.
We love y'all, and that's our time. I'm your boy, Pastor J.
I'm your girl, Lady Free.
And I'm Zany. Yeah.
I think I like that high note better.
You told me
today. We love you.
Peace.
Thanks for watching.